Having now covered the inspirations for the art and style of my would-be comic, I think it only appropriate now to get down to more nitty-gritty details, namely the title, Babylon Rocker. What kind of name is that for a comic book? For that matter, what kind of name is that for a ship? And how exactly does that tie into the premise of a crew of failed former rebels trying to eke out a living on the fringe of human space? The title is a direct reference to William Gibson's Sprawl trilogy, specifically the first novel, Neuromancer. Alongside Blade Runner, which came out the same year as Neuromancer was published, the Sprawl trilogy functions as one of the foundational pillars of the cyberpunk subgenre of science fiction. At some point late in the story of Neuromancer, the protagonists end up traveling to an orbital station called Zion, built quite literally by space Rastafarians. According to the Rastafari religion, Zion stands for a utopian place of unity, peace, and freedom. In Neuromancer, the Zionites refer to Earth as Babylon, which is another reference to Rastafarianism, in which the name Babylon signifies all that is wrong with the modern world: corruption, exploitation, materialism, etc. In a later scene, one of the Zionites sees a ship coming up the gravity well from Earth to dock with Zion, and he refers to it as Babylon Rocker. Ever since I read Neuromancer for the first time, that phrase stuck with me. And since, at the time, I was just beginning to germinate the idea of a sci-fi adventure comic, I thought, yeah, that's a good name for a ship. For that matter, it's a good name for a series. But how to make that a believable name within the premise of my fictional universe? Enter that most celebrated of anime series, Cowboy Bebop. Specifically, its 7th episode, entitled Heavy Metal Queen. The episode in question introduces the idea that even in the future, there are essentially the space equivalent of long-distance truckers, transporting cargoes across the solar system from world to world or station to station. And much like a lot of real-life truckers, these people have handles or call signs, including the titular Heavy Metal Queen. And that's basically where the initial premise crystallized for me. The main characters are mostly going to be making their living by transporting stuff from place to place, particularly over long distances, galactically speaking, which of course is the perfect excuse to create all kinds of worlds and peoples for them to meet and encounter during the course of their adventures. I've loved good stories ever since I was at least in middle school. Prior to the 6th grade, I only ever read non-fiction, mostly stuff about dinosaurs or animals. But while I do enjoy writing my own these days, I've realized that the part of it that I like the most is not so much the stories themselves, but the worlds in which the stories take place. I am a massive sucker for world building. So in many ways, the trick in formulating the concept of Babylon Rocker was coming up with a reason for the characters to explore this universe of my own creation. One that is believable to both the reader and believable within the fictional strictures of this universe. In that sense, the concept of the interstellar truck driver as introduced in Heavy Metal Queen proved pivotal in the conceptualization of Babylon Rocker, both the story and the ship. In fact, my original rough concepts of the Babylon Rocker include essentially a port for the attachment of long cargo containers similar to the ones in the episode. It's funny the kind of minor details in various pieces of fiction that can help inspire ideas, but I'm not the kind of guy to look that sort of gift horse in the mouth. I'll take what good ideas that I can get. It's then just a question of fitting all those ideas together, like a jigsaw puzzle, but you don't yet know what the image is supposed to be. I think that's both the most fun about world building and also the most frustrating part about it. Because if that sort of thing matters to you in your story, it does have to make some kind of sense, otherwise no one's going to take any interest in it. And that's really all there is for me to say on this particular subject. Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw or heard, please support the Kickstarter. Thank you.